So today we're going to be working on essentially the same thing as we've been working on before. We're going to solve equations. Again, there's algebra's golden rule. Whatever you do to one side, you must do the same to the other. You must keep it balanced. Again, we can do whatever we want as long as we keep it balanced. So these ones we're just going to become a little bit more steps. So they do end up being a little bit more challenging, but they're not as difficult as long as you can keep track of how you're going to do things. Again, the big part of solving this is you need to show me your steps. I will not accept answers without showing steps, and you need to show me steps showing the opposites and balance. Those are two things I'm going to look for when I mark these. So here, I want to solve for A. I need to get rid of the plus 4. So I'm going to subtract 4. Subtract 4, so that's my opposites, there's my balance. Okay, so I'm going to show that I have 5a equals 20. Okay, I need to undo the times 5 with the divide 5, so there's my opposite, there's my balance. Okay, and then solving for the a, I end up with a equals 4. So there's my solution. I can always check by substituting in 5 times 4 plus 4 is 24. That's correct. So the order that this needs to be done, really there's no set order in that. We could do divide first. Okay, the problem is if I do divide, I have to make sure I divide everything here. Okay, not just the 3, but the 7 and the 16. The 7 isn't nicely divisible, but we have to remember that it is divide and plus, so we have to distribute it. So this is kind of awkward. Now, if it's not awkward, maybe we might go ahead and do it. But right now, it's a little bit awkward. I don't think I need to divide. Okay, right now, I'm just going to subtract to start off with. And when I do that, I end up with a much easier equation to work with. So I end up with 3a on the right-hand side. 16 minus 7 is 9. And notice I can track everything vertically. Okay, that's very important. That's what I'm looking for when I look at your work. And the big part of this is showing your work. Okay, so I need to then undo the times 3 with the divide 3. There's my opposite. There's my balance. And I end up with a is equal to 3. Okay, here I'm going to undo the plus 5 with a minus 5. Minus 5. I'm left with, remember this minus goes with the 6, not with the 5. So I end up with negative 6a equals positive 18. I'm going to get rid of that times by negative 6 with a divide by negative 6. So my solution then ends up being a is equal to negative 3. Now, I can get rid of the plus 7, but I think what's always a good idea is if you have like terms, it's always a good idea to combine your like terms. And so again, make sure that you show all your steps. So I need to make sure that I can track every piece vertically. Now, if you leave a piece out, although you may be keeping track of it in your head, I'm not going to see that. So you need to show all your steps. So we end up with minus 7, minus 7. 5x's is equal to 15. Get rid of the times with a divide by 5, divide by 5. I end up with x equals 3 is my solution. Okay. Okay, so the algebra tile model is basically using the balance and showing pieces on a balance. Okay, so it could be algebra tiles, it could be other objects. Okay, essentially that the app that I showed you the other day is this idea that we have physically things on a balance. So if I want to solve this, I can solve this equation by doing things like this. I can take 5 off of this side, take 5 off of this side, and notice that it's still physically balanced. If I want to get rid of the two groups of x, I can regroup this one with x, this one with x, and I can see that then x is equal to 1 square. Okay, And I can show the steps over here. So let's start off with our 2x plus 5 equals 7. The getting rid of step, right? The minus 5 minus 5. Okay, so I end up with 2x equals 2. That regrouping is my divide. I can divide by 2, and I get x equals 1. Now, I don't need you to show me the steps on the balance. Okay, it's good to be able to kind of see it in your mind. If you want to do those steps, the app is really good for that. Okay, you can use the app to set up your equations like this. I really just want to see that you can set up the balance. So here, I'm going to draw my two algebra tiles for my two x's. Plus 1 equals 5 1s. Okay, and then solve it. Now you can just solve this algebraically. 2x plus 1 equals 5. We're going to do a minus 5 minus 5. So 2x equals negative 4. Sorry, it's going to be, what am I doing here? I need a minus 1. Minus 1 minus 1. So I get 2x equals 4. And then divide by 2, divide by 2. In my next step, I end up with x equals 2. So I have gotten x by itself. Okay, so again, show the balance. Sketch me a balance. So I'm going to have 1x. I'm going to have 4 1s. And on this side, I'm going to have 6 1s. Okay, now you can probably solve this by getting rid of these 4. Getting rid of these 4s, and we can see that x is equal to 2. Okay, what's the algebraic steps that look like that go with this? So 4x, 4 plus x, sorry, x plus 4 equals 6. We did a minus 4 on both sides to keep it balanced, and we end up with our solution x equals positive 2.